Good day, good evening, everybody. So we've been having load shedding and in South Africa, and that's when Eskom don't have enough electricity and they switch us off. And there've been a lot of debates, and I've been doing a lot of research since 2004 when I got into energy, and made a lot of spreadsheets, and I've been saying things. And today someone wrote that they don't like what I said and that I'm misleading people. And I said that he must look at the source information and look at the statistics and ask questions and not attack the messenger. And this week's parasha is Korach. And reading from Numbers chapter 16, Korach is the son of Ishtar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi. So Korach is of the tribe of Levi. And what we know about the Levites, and I'm actually a Levite, I'm of the tribe of Levi, is that the Levites weren't given physical inheritance. They were given the Torah as an inheritance. And they were given the Torah to look after. And that's what I find myself doing with these weekly commentaries and in my life. And if you watched my video that I made earlier this week, it was about the environment, and that's what I'm doing. I'm an environmentalist. I'm looking after the environment, not just for myself, but for everybody else. And Korach goes with 250 men who are princes of the congregation, the elect men of the assembly, men of renown. And it says they assembled themselves together against Moses. And the word is kehilah, assembly. And the other word is that they were men of renown and they questioned Moses. And it says they're 250. We'll get to that in a minute. But what's important is that later on it says that God killed them. But in my opinion, remember the Old Testament, the Torah is written in analogy. The New Testament is written in parable. So these are stories designed to make us think deeply. And I don't believe that God physically killed those top people of the community. The people of, why would he kill princes? Why would he kill people of renown? Why would he kill people of the congregation? Why would he kill the elect? Why would he kill the people's elected people when they were just asking Moses? And my feeling is that they confused their physical responsibility and their spiritual responsibility, and they questioned that. And so God killed off the idea, but not killed them. And part of the reason I get to this analysis is because 250 is 200, which is Reish, and 50, which is Nun. And if you put Nun and Reish together, you get Ner, which means light. Remember, Kabbalistically, we look at all the numbers, and there's lots of other things we can look at. I'm only looking at the first 3 or 4 verses of this parasha. And I'm saying that the light of the Levites questioned the president, the messenger, Moshe. And they questioned their responsibilities. And Moshe explained their responsibility to them, and God killed the old idea. I don't want you to think that God is an evil person. I don't want you to think that God is a bad judge. I don't want you to think that God is... Look, we know that God is sitting in judgment. But God is only sitting in judgment like a parent sits in judgment in order to love people more and to give them more capabilities. So there's a whole nother subject we could talk about. But right now, I just want you to understand that it's okay to ask questions. I'm a scientist. I ask questions. I ask lots of questions. I try to answer the questions myself by doing my own research, my own analysis, looking up numbers, working out patterns, querying things, studying ancient wisdom, writing books, speaking to you guys and ladies. I want you to know that it's okay to question. One of the reasons why I like being Jewish is because I can ask God, I can question God, I say, God, I don't like what you did today. And then I can have a conversation with God. You can have a conversation with God. I can help you to make that happen. But it requires work. It requires being able to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, where we are now in the wilderness, in the desert, crossing from the darkness to the light. It requires you to be in that wilderness that you can hear the still voice, which you hear when you're away from your computer, when you're away from your cell phone, when you're sitting outside, when you're talking to your dogs or your cats, when you're loving your wife, and you hear those special sounds, special voices, God talking to you. Out of a rock, God spoke out of a rock. God spoke out of a burning bush. The bush was burning, but it wasn't being consumed. God spoke out of a talking donkey, a talking snake. There were talking animals in the Torah, all God giving messages in different ways. Messages in different ways. What is the symbol of a snake? The snake became the symbol of medicine because the snake can be coiled up and then the snake can be straight. And the snake is the Nun, 50. It's in our parasha this week, 250. And 2 is duality. 2 is bipolar. 2 is our world. 2 is ups and downs. 2 is hot and cold. 2 is what we're here to learn. 250. And 2 and 5 is 7, and 7 is whole. How do we know 7 is whole? Because there are 22 consonants in the Hebrew alphabet, and they make 22 circle. And if you make 22 divided by 7, you get pi, approximately. So that's how we know. A circle is complete, and the diameter of the circle is 7. So there's so much possibility, and there's so much light, and there's so much opportunity. In my parasha that I wrote in my book, which you're welcome to buy, and if you're listening to the video, then say, David, I listened to the video and you said you would give me 90% off discount for Kindle. Just put that in the comments or write me a message and say, David, please honor your 90% pledge. And I'm happy to do that for you because I'm happy to do that for you. So let's be a light. Let's ask questions. When someone makes us feel bad, let's ask ourselves, why do we feel bad? Let's not give up because people are trying to deplatform us or cancel us. Let's say to ourselves, when you write something that someone doesn't like and they remove that and they say it's fake news, or they say it's a conspiracy theory, or they say it, or they cancel you, or they deplatform you, or they wipe the scaffolding from underneath you, then that's the time for you to say to yourself, am I wrong or am I right? And if you feel like you're right, then you need to get yourself out of that dungeon and out of that dark place and into the ner, into the light. Lighting ner shal Shabbat tonight. We kindle the lights of the Sabbath. In fact, it's not kindle the Neirot. We actually light 2 candles on Shabbat. But we say, Lahadlik ner shal Shabbat. We light 2 candles and we say we're lighting the light of Shabbat. Because although they're 2 candles, because of that 2 we spoke about earlier, masculine and feminine, the humans are welcoming the bride, which is the Shekhinah, which is the feminine aspect of God, into a marriage on Shabbat between humans and God. On Shabbat, which is from Friday night to Saturday night in Judaism and other days in other religions, we marry God. And the earth is masculine. And the God, in this case, that we're marrying, the Shekhinah, is the feminine aspect of God. And we marry them. We marry each other. And we are whole and one on Shabbat. And so we have Shabbat Shalom. Shalom is peace. And the word, the Shalem, Shin Lamed Mem, is Shalem, which means whole. And when we're together, we're whole. When we're at peace, we're whole. When we're whole, we're at peace. And so you can see so much coming together in Korach. When Korach says, Moses, I disagree with you. And I've got 250 of my buddies, or 249 of my buddies, because I'm the 250 of that. And we disagree with you. And Moses says, I'm going to kill that idea, but I'm going to let you live. I want you to live because you are the leaders of the Levites. You are the leaders of the people who are spiritually responsible for Torah, for bringing the message. So I wish you peace. I wish you wholeness. I pray for your health. I pray that you will ask questions. I pray that when people disable you, that you choose an outcome. Are you going to say they're right? In which case, fine, accept that they're right and carry on. Or you can accept that they're wrong and you're right, and you're going to do more research. You're going to find another way to convince them. And I made another video this week about how to stick to your long-term goals. So there's another 2 videos to watch besides this one. Bless you. Shabbat Shalom. Peace.